Hey guys, it's Jennifer Scott here again with my live weekly show, Create It, Monday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's good to be back again. Wanted to say a big thank you to those of you who have been reaching out and saying that you like what you're seeing and you're really appreciating the content. And and I really would love to hear more about what you would like to see and hear and have me work with you on. So tonight I have a really great topic. We've been talking a lot in the last few weeks about the specifics of manifesting or creating what you most want in your life. Tonight I'm going to get a little bit more specific. We're going to talk about entrepreneurs struggling, or the number one mistake they make when they're trying to create their online business. And of course I'm going to tie in how mindset and manifesting plays a role in this, because as I've said before, we are always creating our experience. So that includes entrepreneurs in their business. And I like to talk about it because I'm an entrepreneur and I work to build my business. And I've had some really great successes in my business in the last couple of years, and I've worked with some amazing coaches and been a coach on some great coach teams and worked with other entrepreneurs. So I've had a chance to really see what works, what doesn't work, and also probably the most important is like the common thread of success throughout the success I've seen. There's definitely common threads, right? And also like rites of passages too. There's a lot of those. So let's get right into it. Let's get started. So the number one mistake, there's a few that we make, but that's okay. We're going to start with the number one, is that entrepreneurs don't stay consistent with something long enough. I got my nice little show notes here. It doesn't get any fancier than this, right? So they don't, I'm going to put it up here right beside my video. There we go. Okay, so entrepreneurs don't stay consistent with something long enough. And now I'm talking about actually a practice, strategy, what they're doing to build their business. So we're going to get into how we can see how strategy and mindset really combine and work together with this, okay? Because we're going to talk about the why. Why do entrepreneurs not stay consistent with something long enough? And if you are one of those, if you're not an entrepreneur though, I'll say this quick. If you're not an entrepreneur, think of something else you're trying to create in your life. Like health goes so well with this, right? You want to go to the gym. You want to start a new diet or eating plan, right? Don't stay consistent long enough to make it really happen. So plug in something else that you're working on if you're not an entrepreneur. But if you are, here we go. Okay. Why do we do this? Why does an entrepreneur not stay consistent? Well, one of the reasons is it doesn't happen fast enough, right? The success they want, the clients they want, the money they want, the momentum they want. So we choose a strategy and, to be really visible, or to post more on our social media, or to consistently create great content. Those are all strategies, and they're all strategies you need to run a successful business. But they take a lot longer to build momentum than we're led to believe by marketing ploys out there that, the get rich quick schemes, like how I made $10,000 in, 30 days. So we think that it's supposed to happen a lot faster, and it doesn't. And that is definitely why I'm going to say we, because the only reason I know this is because I also experienced it at the beginning of my online business, is when it doesn't happen fast enough, then we kind of freak out. We think things aren't working and we bail, right? We get totally sidetracked. We get discouraged, frustrated, and that's where it plays into mindset. So you've got this great strategy. You've got this awesome business strategy going, but then your mindset is ugh, this isn't working. Okay. And this leads me into number two, why. The number two why is we focus too much on what's not working. So I spoke about this last show, and I totally encourage you to go check that out if you didn't catch it, last week's show, is hey Edie, nice to see you, awesome. I talked about how we're always creating our good and bad experiences, and I went through that and showed how like your alignment is connected to the bad experience, your mindset is connected to the bad experience, and the actions you're taking are connected to the bad experience. And that's exactly what happens with a good experience you create. It's still alignment, it's still mindset, and it's still strategy, right? So when you're working to change something, when you're wanting something to happen for you, or you want to create something like a successful business, so you get super excited, you're like, okay, I'm going to do like this awesome strategy that I just found out about, or I talked to my coach about, and I'm so pumped up, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to like go for it. And then what happens is we focus too much on how it's not working. So we focus that we didn't get any likes. We focus that nobody came to our show. We focus that we can't get a guest post somewhere. We focus that we had some sales calls, but we only sold one, or our launch didn't go as good as it was supposed to, right? So we start to focus on what's not working. And we cannot get away from it. Law of attraction is just like the law of gravity. It's like not something we can get away from. So what does that do? It makes us see more of what's not working. So then, of course, it doesn't seem like it's happening fast enough. And in fact, it actually seems like it's not working. And so what do? We stop being consistent. Thank you, Edie. So friggin' true. I know you know this one, and it is true, right? So what we want to do here is we want to start to really amp up the evidence that it is working, right? So you have a person on your Facebook Live, like wonderful Edie here, who's saying so friggin' true. Okay, well, that's evidence that I'm connecting with somebody. That's evidence that this is working, right? One person reaches out and tells you how much they appreciated your blog that week. That's evidence that your blogging, your creating consistent content strategy is working. But now what you're doing is you're tying your mindset into it, and you're connecting your mindset, which is starting to increase how much you believe it's working, because you're focusing on the parts that are working. We call this evidence. I call it hashtag evidence, if you ever want to share your evidence with me. And then you're doing the strategy, and then that starts to build the momentum. Yes, Edie, exactly. Hey, Julie, how's it going? So that is why the first two reasons, and I got a third one coming for you, is one, it doesn't happen fast enough, right? It being like the success they thought they were going to have, the momentum they thought they were going to have, the book calls they thought they were going to have. We're talking about online entrepreneur. And which leads into, they focus on what's not working, which just attracts more of that and brings them out of alignment, brings us out of alignment, and takes us off course and makes us stop our consistent action and like go a different direction. That's the number one mistake entrepreneurs make, especially in the first few years, is they don't stay consistent long enough with something. Okay, we are talking about when you're basically in alignment with your business. Yes, you're going to have like growth spurts where you get a little bit more niche down or focused in a really specific direction. I'm not talking about like when you're trying to make a business work where you're totally out of alignment and doing something you don't like at all. That's kind of a different topic. This tonight is about you know what you want to do. Like for me, I've always known that I want to help people understand how they can master their mindset, use the law of attraction and strategy to create what they want. That's always been my common thread. So then I would stay consistent with my message and strategy, right? So that's what I'm talking about. And Edie says, I'm finally not focusing on the numbers anymore. Yes. I'm so glad you brought that up. You know, I'm just going to go off track here a little bit, because that's part of it, is that it doesn't happen fast enough, is we have this idea of what it's supposed to be. And we do have that because like we're bombarded with a lot of marketing, right? We're bombarded with a lot of marketing that says, how I made $10,000 in 5 minutes. I mean, of course I'm exaggerating, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. How I created my 6-figure business in, 6 months, even a year, right? So if those are the numbers, yep, exactly. And that's not the way it is, right? So that's the other thing too, is I'd love you, thanks for the hearts, guys. I'd love you to step away. If that's somebody that you really think that you're supposed to be at these 5-figure months and, these 6-figure years, and you've been in business like under 3 years, you've only been in business 3 to 5 years, like you need to stop focusing on that stuff, because all it's doing is like, it's completely weighing down your mindset, because that's not the way it happens. A brick and mortar, like go to like your local new clothing store. I just got one in my neighborhood, so that's why I thought of a clothing store. They're not like super, 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 super successful until like between the 3rd and 5th year, if they make it that long. Okay, so this really get fast or get rich quick or successful quick. No, focus, be true to your passion. I mean, we are in such an amazing time. We have this whole online world that we can tap into, but it still takes time to grow a business and to make an impact. And you got to build that momentum, and you got to get the followers, and you got to get people coming through your front door, right? Which is why tonight we're talking about the number one mistake entrepreneurs make is you don't stay consistent enough. We don't stay consistent enough with the strategies that do work. Okay, awesome. So we're going to lead to number 3. And please, like if you have any questions about this stuff, please post. Like I will answer your questions live, no problem. And even if the show ends and a couple days later, you're like, oh, I had a question. I always watch the weekly, keep an eye on the episode of the week for a week, so I can come back and answer your questions. Okay, number 3. Okay, so this comes full circle. Yeah, there's other things we could talk about why entrepreneurs don't stay consistent long enough, but I'm really honing in on the top 3, okay? So, number 3 is they don't know what to focus on when. They don't know what to focus on when. And what I mean by that is, again, we are bombarded through our Facebook streams and our information about, how to do this strategy, how to do that strategy, how to launch, how to build a big campaign, how to, get 1,000 subscribers. I mean, there's a ton of how-tos, which is awesome. I teach how-tos. I'm doing one right now, or I'm about to show you one in a minute. But I teach how-tos. How-tos are important. Strategies are important. But this is also important. Knowing where you're at and what you should focus on to get to the next stage, and then the next stage, and then the next stage. So one reason, and third reason, entrepreneurs don't stay consistent enough, which is the number one mistake I'm talking about tonight, is because they don't have like a do this, then do this, then do this plan, or they don't have like markers along the way. It's kind of like if you got in a car and had no map and no GPS, and I guess also no cell phone, also no smartphone. So you need a lot of things now to like get in a car and not know where you're going. But anyways, if you got in a car and you didn't know where you're going, it's similar to like guessing how to get from New York to California, right? Like just guessing. And then what happens while you're guessing is like you stop and you get somebody's advice, and then you stop again, and then maybe you go on a detour because you turn the wrong way and you realize it's not working anymore, and you just get all muddled up, and you're kind of going in circles. Whereas if you had a map, you had that GPS or that smartphone, or all the things that we have now, is you could get in your car, you could put it on, and then you could follow it. Right? Yes, getting sidetracked. Exactly. And sidetracked comes from the mindset that we're not confident or we're not sure. And of course, we're not going to be confident or sure if this is the first time we're trying to run an online business, right? Like, I don't see like online business specific school like that I would go to, to become a doctor, right? There's tons of great courses and programs, and I've done some great training, like been in great training with good coaches and programs, but it's not like I have someone right beside me that's like helping me along the way, right? It's a solopreneur job at the beginning with this job. So what I've done, yeah, exactly, Edie. So what I've done, and it's up above, is I have a quiz. I developed this quite a while ago, and it's been really awesome. It's helped a lot of people, and it's a quiz for you to find out what stage of business you're actually in, and it includes the first 3 stages. And it'll tell you like what you should be focused on when. Like, that's the strategy. So how we're going to combine this all is go take the quiz, find out what stage you're on, and then there's going to be like some emails you'll get. And it's really great content. Like, I work hard to promote like good stuff that you guys can use. So you're going to get some emails that come to you, and then it's going to explain to you what you should be doing based on the results of the quiz. So put this all together, right, is once you see the actions to that you need to do to stay consistent, to build to the next level, the next stage of your business, then do it. Do it. Follow it. Look for the evidence. Pay attention to the things that work, whether it's one like, whether it's one share. Build that momentum. Start to pay attention that 1 week it was 1 like, the next week it was 10, or say you're at like 100 and you're trying to go to 500, like whatever, right? Wherever you're at, but pay attention to it going up and up and up, and look for the evidence that it is, that you are staying consistent and you are getting results, and pay attention to that. And what's going to happen, manifesting, law of attraction, is like attracts like. So it's going to bring more to you, right? That's the way it works. And it is the only way to build the momentum in anything you're trying to create, whether it's, like I said, diet and health or your online business. You got to take action and stay consistent with the action that works. So I really love for you to go take the quiz, find out what stage you're at, hit me up with any questions you have after, no problem, and then start to do the the strategies, I guess they're tasks, for the stage of business you're in. And finally, thank you for the love, I appreciate that. And finally, what I'll add to this is this quiz, it's either the quiz, so it has been a while that I've had this quiz, but this quiz or the emails that you get after tell you what kind of level of income you can expect for the stage that you're in, so that you don't get sidetracked on it not working, right? If you're in stage 1 and it's only like 0 to 1,500 a month, then you kind of know where you should be. It's also going to tell you and talk about what you can expect or what you want to have happen before you push yourself to the next stage. And when I say push yourself, I mean like go for the next goal based on the next stage, right? It's super fun, super, super fun. And I'm not going to lie that I really wish I had this quiz for myself from somebody, like even in the first 18 months of my business. So I wasn't trying to get, because I was trying to get from New York to California without any technology or a map. I feel like I was going in circles. Okay, so I'm Jennifer Scott. Thank you so much for enjoying me. Edie, I really appreciate your participation tonight. Share this show with your friends or any other entrepreneurs that you think that would benefit. And it's not just entrepreneurs, anybody that would benefit from intentionally creating what they desire in their life. That's what this is all about. So hit me up with questions. You know where to find me, and have an awesome night. I hope you found this useful. Take care. Miss you, Edie. Reach out. Okay. Bye-bye.